Hello, everybody. Welcome to another market breakdown by ForexBlade. I hope everybody enjoyed their week. Last week, I know that almost everybody profited from last week's market breakdown if you took everything that I said in the video. Okay. If you're new, welcome. We have been getting a lot of new members. I think we got 50 new members since last week. So welcome to the ForexBlade family, and I hope that this video finds you well. But let's just dive into it. Honestly, I like looking at the charts over the weekend because everything is more clear. There's no movements going on, so market is dead, which is really nice to predict the market for next week. Now I have looked at the charts already. So this might not be a longer video than the other ones, but it sure is going to be more clear and more simple and precise. So let's start off with looking at Euro USD. First off, we called this rise, right, and we called this drop last week in the market breakdown. Now, I didn't call the whole way down here, but we caught the perfect amount. Okay. So looking at, and keep in mind, guys, I always update these trades depending on the market condition on the Telegram channel. So if you're just viewing this on YouTube and you're not following the Telegram channel, check the bio in this video. It's a public free Telegram channel, and I just use like voice notes, or sometimes I even drop a whole new market breakdown depending on market conditions. Okay. So starting off with Euro USD. Well, first off, we got out of this wedge, right? This was a fake move that I called that was faking everybody out to the upside, and we got our profits out here. We already got out, right? I called this drop before another rise, and I'm still very, very confident in Euro USD and next week's trade being a bullish run. So let me explain why I think next week is going to be a bullish run. First off, you guys can see back here the EMAs after they've dropped, and they're kind of further away from the 200 EMA. You can see that there's a huge gap right here before any type of switch, right? And it just so happens that the market is kind of just reciprocating what this is over on this area, okay? So, and it's, again, on Friday, it bounced on this area, this zone right here. Same rejection as back in 28th of November. And, if we're looking at the Fibonacci, so let's look at the Fibonacci from wick to wick. Okay. You guys, first off, you guys can see that immediately that price, like I always mention, price respects the 78 and the 61 the most. And that's why I, edited my Fibonacci to literally only show me the 0, the 1, and the 78 and 61. So where is Euro USD heading for next week? That is a good question. Looking at this chart right now, what I predict is that regardless, market could open up down here, okay, just to kind of fake people out, just to kind of, hang in this area for only a split hour before it starts rising up again. But what I see happening is that either market opens down here or opens up just around this area, or even if it's opened up above this price action or this price level that it closed on Friday. So let me do the three scenarios real quick. So if it opens up, this is kind of like a rule of thumb too, but if it opens up below this low, you can expect it to rise immediately, right? If it opens up here, you can expect it to drop a little bit, meet last week's open or last week's close price before it rises. And if it opens up right where it was left off, then we are expecting the rise. But so I've been told, I need to be more clear when it comes to, prices and exactly where price is heading. And I was told that I need to give out numbers to be specific, which is fine, right? So let me give you a number to enter and to exit, right? So for sake of purposes, I'm just gonna have the market or the position open up where market closed. Okay. Now stop loss, I would put it just a little bit underneath. Uh, Usually I like to do 23 pips below the low, so 27.0, so 1270. So it'll be around this area right here. So you're risking 50 pips, right? And you're gaining. Now, first take profit would be 1.374. But if you want to be just a little bit more careful or just a little bit more secure, I would suggest 1360 on the Euro USD. And the reason being is that it just so happens that the 61 Fibonacci level, if we flipped it, if the 61 Fibonacci level, right, now you have the 0 and you have the 1 on top, indicating that you're going for a long. 61 Fibonacci level matches precisely with this EMA. So I expect the EMA to hang around the 61 and price will rise to, this area right here. So if you wanted a clear trade, enter when market opens at 1.1303 and exit at 1.1360. That's what, 30 pips or actually 60 pips. Yeah, so that's for Euro USD. Now, in the long term wise, right? If we look at the long term, now these are just the simple trades that we do for the week, for the free market breakdown. Now, if you're in the EA, you probably already know, but you will be getting a lot of more trades than just this one trade. You'll be getting the upside, the downside, the upside, the downside, everything. So you don't have to worry about any of this market breakdown. But for the traders that want to expand their knowledge and learn how I read the market and how the robot really works in the algorithm between our system and why we're profitable, that's why I like to do these market breakdowns. So looking at the daily, I expect Euro USD. First off, you guys can see a trend over here going on. Is that new low or lower low, higher low, and a higher low. Market closed above these two closures. So what it seems like it's happening is that market, and there's a lot more wicks up here than down here. So what I expect to happen, right, is that again we're getting further away from the 200 EMA on the daily, which means that we are going to get closer to it at one point. So you guys can see right here, market, test DMA, got further. Now it's getting to that position where it's just waiting to explode up to this EMA. Okay, that's just the longer term. But like I said, if you guys want to enter in a shorter term trade, maybe a day or two lengthwise, this would be the trade for you. Right, I would expect price to rise up to the again 1.1360 area. Now moving on to Euro JBP, this is a different one. Even though all three pairs usually follow each other, Euro JPP was actually an interesting one. And let me explain to you what's going on over here, right? So first off, let's go to the 4-hour chart. Just to show you guys something really cool. Right, first off, market touched the zone precisely, right? Literally, just as soon as it touched the zone, it dropped down and attempted to break a new high, but couldn't. Okay, this is something that we actually teach in a ForexBlade University, and this just looks so similar to a lot of what we've been practicing and a lot of what we teach. So basically, what's going on over here is that price touched this area, couldn't break it, came down, reattempted the previous high, couldn't break it, came down. EMAs have crossed over to the downside. So what this means is that if we take a good look at this, right, price is just struggling. It's using that red EMA first off and struggling to break through. So what's going to happen is I'm going to draw a Fibonacci from wick to wick. To be more specific, this wick up here. So don't get too confused, really. There isn't much confusion going on, but if you guys look at this zone, this is actually a zone that I'm going to draw out for you guys. I'm going to keep it for next time too. But this area right here, okay, is a very crucial area, right? I can actually probably drag it down a little bit more, right? And it's just so price couldn't break that area, right? It had trouble. Once it broke through it, it just flew past. So this is a very strong zone right here. Yep, it definitely is, because even if you pull it back a little bit more, it was rejected. And if we pull it back a little bit more right here, it went through it in a way and couldn't, went through it, bounced on it, and then broke through it again. So, and it just so happens that it aligns near the 61 Fibonacci level. So what I do expect Euro JBP to happen is it's going to be a short position that we're entering in, right? So if market price opens up around, the 0.9011 area, expect price to drop immediately. If it opens up around the 0.8964 area, expect price to rise a little bit to meet the previous open price before it drops. But for the sake of this, trade, we're just gonna draw it up like this. So you enter at market price 0.8980. Stop loss is going to be around 0.9026, and take profit is going to be around 0.8985, right? And the reason this is, I can probably even put that stop loss a little bit more down, but the reason why I have my take profit over here is that for three reasons, actually. One, this zone right here is very respected. Two, there's a gap area right here, right? So that means that when price goes through, it's just going to go through in one movement or two movements before it rises. Like I said, Euro USD and Euro JPY, I'm going to get into Euro JPY sooner, but they're bullish. So what this means is that this will drop very quickly before it kind of, in a way copies Euro USD or Euro JPY. But as of right now, also the reason why I'm taking profit around this area is the 61 Fibonacci level is around this area as well, which, indicates that's where price will probably meet with the 200 EMA. So I expect the 200 EMA to come up around this area and price to meet around that area, right? Looking at long term, if you look at this area, this zone was rejected back in August. Okay, so the fact that, and let me get out, the fact that it hit this price again, it kind of seems like like I get repeating this area. So I do expect price to actually not only drop past this level, but once price hits this level, I definitely expect a retest, right? But then there could be another drop, which I'll cover, once that happens. Lastly, Euro JPY. This is a very interesting one as well. Looking at the 4-hour chart. Okay. Price, like again, faked out everyone over here. EMA is crossing over. The wedge is broken. We knew this was going to drop. So this trade was actually from last week. I know I had a stop loss, but if you guys follow us very closely, we usually don't put stop loss. So this actually take profit. But I did even call this rise before I even placed the trade. So I told everybody, this is going to rise before it drops. And that's exactly what happened. But I was just making it clear for you guys with this trade, right? But anyways, let me remove this just to make clear. Euro JPY, right? Now, is expected to rise, okay? And let me explain to you guys why it is. But first off, let me draw up. Let me get the Fibonacci first before I even draw up anything. But if we're looking at the wick, okay, price rejected off the 78, rejected off the 61. Once it broke through it, it rejected off and got to the 78. So what I expect to happen is, if price opens down here, expect it to rise. If price opens up here, expect it to drop. If price opens at where it's at, expect it to rise. Okay. Now, what I mean by that is that, if it's opened up right here, just to clarify things, if it's opened up right here, what I mean is that it's going to rise to the previous market close. Okay. But this one, we're going to take a long position. Say we open up at market, right? This position is going to be 128.40 is where I expect to take the profit. Okay. So even though it's only like 25 pips, that's the next move, and I'm 95% positive. Actually, I would say 98% positive that's what's going to happen. Also, however, once price meets this area, I do expect a rejection. So once price meets this area, I do expect that rejection, off the EMAs. So this is probably going to take like a huge curve. And looking forward, this actually could rise to 128.7. And the reason being that I mentioned 128.7 is because this EMA looks like it's just going to go right like that. Okay. And price is going to touch it. This could be a wick. So this all could happen really quick. But, this is going to rise to this area for sure. But then it could also spike to this area. And I say spike because you can tell price likes to be in this wedge formation. However, once it breaks through it, it likes to just go up a little bit, mess around a little bit, and then come in. So I do expect this to rise up to the 127, or 128.70 area. Okay. So it's up to you if you want to take the shorter term trade. This could happen Monday, but at the latest, or take this trade right here where you're getting out at 128.70, and that could be a trade that's out by Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. Okay. But I hope I helped you guys with this market breakdown. I will be updating you guys on anything that is changeable, if anything changes, or trades have hit profit and you guys want to know the next movements. Just keep up in the Telegram channel. It's if this is your first time, welcome to the ForexBlade family, and let's get it. I'm excited for this week, and I hope everybody profits from this market breakdown. And the robot is gonna kill it. And I'll see you guys next time.